West Virginia. You'd think America's deadliest animal would have fangs, claws, or venom. Wrong. It's a vegetarian that kills 440 people every year, more than sharks, bears, alligators, and venomous snakes combined. White-tailed deer cause 2.1 million crashes annually, killing 440 people and injuring 59,000 more. West Virginia drivers face a 1 in 40 chance of hitting a deer, the worst odds in America. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania filed 153,397 animal collision claims last year, making it #1 nationwide for total incidents. The psychology behind this is fascinating. We treat deer like living lawn ornaments, completely ignoring that a full-grown buck can weigh 300 pounds and sprint at 40 miles per hour. When that much muscle and bone slams into your windshield, physics doesn't care about how cute it looked a second earlier. The timing makes it worse. November is peak danger, when deer are actively mating and daylight hours shrink. Your drive home from work suddenly becomes Russian roulette with a 200-pound projectile that can't distinguish your headlights from sunlight. Most collisions happen during dusk and dawn, exactly when you're commuting. In rural states where over half the population lives outside cities, deer collisions spike dramatically. That's why West Virginia and Pennsylvania top the list despite not having the highest deer densities. It's the deadly combination of winding rural roads, cutting through deer habitat, and commuters racing home in low light. What makes this genuinely terrifying is that deer don't hunt you. They don't even want to hurt you. They're just crossing the road at the worst possible moment, turning your Tuesday evening into a medical emergency. One moment you're thinking about dinner, the next you're dealing with antlers in your passenger seat. But things get much worse when you encounter herbivores that actually fight back. South Dakota and Alaska. While deer killed through unfortunate timing, bison and moose killed through sheer overwhelming force, and they do it on purpose. Bison have injured more people in Yellowstone than any other animal, with 25 documented attacks between 2000 and 2015. These aren't scared animals bolting across highways. These are 2,000-pound tanks that can pivot faster than you can blink and launch you 10 feet through the air. Despite their bulk, bison can charge at 45 miles per hour and jump 6 feet vertically. The psychological trap here is even deadlier than with deer. Tourists see what looks like giant, docile cattle grazing peacefully. 48% of bison injuries involve people trying to take photographs, with victims averaging just 11 feet from a 1-ton animal that can gore you with upturned horns. The National Park Service requires staying 75 feet back, but most attacks happen when people get within 10 feet for selfies. Moose make bison look cuddly. Alaska reports 5 to 10 people killed by moose annually, more than bears in most years. Bulls reach 1,800 pounds with 6-foot-wide antlers that weigh 40 pounds per set. Unlike bison, which usually give warning displays, moose attack with zero notice. They perceive dogs as wolves, making your leash golden retriever a death sentence trigger. June and July see peak bison attacks when tourism and mating season collide. A 2015 Yellowstone incident perfectly demonstrates tourist stupidity. A 25-year-old woman approached within 6 feet of a bison for photos. The bull launched her 10 feet into the air, goring her leg in the process. She survived, but barely. The timing creates a perfect storm. Spring brings protective mothers with calves, while fall rutting season turns bulls into 2,000-pound rage machines defending territory. 60% of bison attacks involve groups of 3 or more people, proving that herd mentality applies to humans too. Unfortunately, our herd instincts involve crowding closer for better Instagram shots. What makes these attacks particularly brutal is the biomechanics. Instead of the quick collision of a deer strike, bison and moose deliver sustained violence. They gore, trample, and toss victims repeatedly until the threat is neutralized. You become a ragdoll in the jaws of a living bulldozer. But if you think massive herbivores are terrifying, wait until you meet predators that strike faster than you can blink. North Carolina and Arizona. Those herbivores at least give you a chance to see them coming. Snakes operate on a completely different level. They're patient, invisible, and strike faster than human reflexes can process. Copperheads cause more snake bites in America than any other species, while rattlesnakes kill more people despite fewer bites. The math is deadly simple. Copperheads have a 0.01% fatality rate, but Mojave rattlesnakes kill 30 to 40% of untreated victims. You're playing roulette where most chambers are empty, but the loaded ones are absolutely lethal. The speed advantage is overwhelming. Strike acceleration reaches 279 to 878 meters per second squared, completing successful attacks in under 0.5 seconds. That's 70 milliseconds from coil to contact, faster than a human blink at 200 milliseconds. You literally cannot react in time. Your brain is still processing snake when the fangs are already in your leg. North Carolina leads the nation with 19 bites per 100,000 residents. The South accounts for 82% of all snake bites, with Texas reporting 1 to 2 deaths annually from its 42.2 bites per million population. Arizona hosts 14 different rattlesnake species, turning desert hiking into biological minesweeper. Here's what makes this psychological warfare. Copperheads blend perfectly into autumn leaves and give zero warning before striking. Meanwhile, rattlesnakes announce their presence with that signature rattle, which sounds helpful until you realize they can strike accurately in complete darkness using heat-sensing facial pits. Their thermal vision detects your body heat from yards away. The venom itself tells the real story. Copperhead hemotoxins cause excruciating local tissue damage and mild blood clotting issues. Rattlesnake venom varies by species. Most inject tissue-destroying hemotoxins that cause hemorrhaging and muscle breakdown, requiring hospital stays averaging 6.6 days. But Mojave and some timber rattlesnakes deliver neurotoxins that shut down your respiratory system. Peak activity runs April through October during dawn and dusk, exactly when you're most likely to be hiking or working in your yard. 33% of rattlesnake bites are dry strikes without venom, but you won't know which type you got until symptoms appear, or don't. The truly terrifying part is that these ambush specialists have been perfecting their craft for millions of years. Every strike is calculated, every hiding spot chosen for maximum effectiveness. You're not just facing a dangerous animal, you're facing a patient assassin that's been waiting in the same spot for hours. But even these perfect killing machines pale in comparison to what happens when predators bring the fight directly to your doorstep.
Minnesota and Texas. Now we're dealing with predators that have figured out suburbia offers better hunting than the wilderness. Black bears cause fewer than 1 death annually, despite a population approaching 900,000. Their 800 psi bite force crushes bones like breadsticks, and they can flip 325-pound rocks with a single paw swipe. Yet they remain surprisingly reluctant killers. 88% of fatal black bear attacks involve predatory behavior rather than defensive reactions. They're not protecting cubs, they're actively hunting humans. The real terror comes from Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, where feral hogs have exploded from 2.4 million to 6.9 million in just 34 years. These invasive tanks weigh over 300 pounds, charge at 30 miles per hour, and carry razor-sharp tusks that grow continuously, some reaching 18 inches long. Unlike bears, they show zero hesitation about using them. Christine Rollins learned this in 2019 when a herd of feral hogs killed her outside her Texas workplace. The 59-year-old became the 5th documented U.S. fatality from hogs since 1825. 50% of hog deaths result from exsanguination, as their triangular tusks create wounds that simply won't close. They're living switchblades with attitude problems. The suburban invasion changes everything. Black bears break into cars for snacks and raid garbage cans with increasing boldness. California's Hank the Tank, a 500-pound bear, broke into 28 homes in 2022. Food conditioning turns curious scavengers into home invaders who associate human spaces with easy meals. Feral hogs operate like organized crime. They cost $2.5 billion in annual agricultural damage while transmitting 34 different pathogens to livestock and humans. Their rooting behavior destroys ecosystems. Studies show 26% lower vertebrate species richness in hog-invaded areas. Texas alone harbors 2.6 million hogs, with only El Paso County remaining hog-free. The population explosion continues northward at 4 to 7.8 miles annually. These adaptive killers thrive in suburbs, root through golf courses, and turn backyard barbecues into potential crime scenes. Unlike wild predators that avoid humans, feral hogs have zero fear and will charge groups of people defending their territory. Both species share one terrifying trait. They're learning that humans provide easy opportunities. Bears associate cars with food rewards, while hogs see suburban lawns as superior foraging grounds. We've accidentally trained killers to see us as resources rather than threats. But territorial enforcers who come to you seem almost polite compared to predators that hunt you without ever letting you know they exist. Colorado. Territorial enforcers at least make noise when they're angry. Mountain lions have perfected something far more sinister: invisible death that follows you for miles without making a sound. These phantom hunters maintain a 15% fatality rate across 125 documented North American attacks over the past century. The math alone should terrify you. When a mountain lion decides to kill, it succeeds 1 in every 7 attempts. Males control territory spanning 100 to 150 square miles, moving 2.3 miles daily, while remaining completely undetectable to humans. The physical capabilities enable perfect ambush kills. They leap 18 feet vertically and 45 feet horizontally, superior to African lions. At 150 pounds across 8-foot frames, they wield 2.5-inch retractable claws and 650 psi bite force. Their killing method involves leaping onto prey's backs, delivering a precise neck bite that severs the spinal cord, or a throat bite causing suffocation. Crushed noses on deer carcasses provide telltale evidence of their overwhelming bite pressure.
Travis Kaufman's 2019 encounter lasted 10 brutal minutes. The juvenile lion clamped onto his wrist while he fought for his life, eventually pinning and suffocating the 40-pound cat with his foot. Anne Heddle described her 2004 attack as like getting hit by a bus before the lion dragged her off trail by her neck and face. Only her friend's intervention, throwing a bike at the lion while others pelted it with rocks, saved her life. The 2024 death of Taylor Brooks in California proved that defensive tactics don't always work. Despite the brothers yelling and throwing objects, a 90-pound lion charged anyway and delivered a fatal throat bite to the 21-year-old. Sometimes perfect predators simply decide your prey. Warning signs exist but require expert-level awareness. Fresh deer carcasses covered with debris, claw marks 4 to 8 feet high on trees, and heavy prey activity all indicate mountain lion presence. Pre-attack behaviors include tail twitching, direct staring, and low crouching, but observing these means you're already in extreme danger. The western U.S. harbors 30,000 to 40,000 mountain lions, with encounters trending upward in suburban woodland interface areas. Their 20% hunting success rate means they kill every 7 to 10 days, with females hunting every 3 days when feeding cubs. Unlike other big cats that hunt cooperatively, mountain lions' solitary nature and patient stalking make them the most efficient ambush predator in North America. You might hike for years through mountain lion territory and never see one. That doesn't mean they haven't seen you. But terrestrial predators have nothing on apex killers that hunt in 3 dimensions. California. Land predators hunt in 2 dimensions. Sharks patrol an alien 3-dimensional world where they can attack from any angle, including straight up from the depths at 35 miles per hour. Great whites and tiger sharks orchestrated 28 U.S. attacks in 2024, representing 60% of global incidents. The fatality rates tell the real story. Great whites kill 17% of their victims through single investigatory bites, while tiger sharks achieve a 27% death rate by continuing their attacks. When a tiger shark decides your food, it doesn't stop until you're dead. Great whites generate 4,000 psi bite force and 21-foot specimens, propelling 2,400-pound bodies with explosive power. Their 300 serrated teeth arranged in multiple rows combined with the ability to breach 3 meters above water when attacking seals. Tiger sharks operate as nocturnal persistent hunters with 1,000 psi bite force, compensating through relentless aggression and dietary flexibility that earned them the title wastebasket of the sea. The sensory network creates an inescapable detection system. Sharks detect 1 milliliter of blood diluted in 1 million milliliters of water from several hundred yards away, with 2/3 of their brain devoted to smell processing. Their 1,500 electroreceptors detect 5 billionths of a volt per square centimeter. They can sense your heartbeat through the water. Lateral line systems detect pressure changes from prey movement, and hearing extends to 800 meters for distress signals. Florida dominated 2024 with 14 incidents, 50% of US and 30% of global attacks. New Smyrna Beach alone recorded 277 attacks since records began, earning the title Shark Attack Capital of the World. The geographic concentration stems from perfect storm conditions, recovering seal populations, increased ocean recreation, and warming waters driving sharks northward. Mistaken identity explains 85 to 90% of attacks. Surfboard silhouettes resemble seals from below, combined with sharks' inability to distinguish fine color details in murky water. Hit-and-run attacks show 95% survival rates. Bump and bite encounters drop to 85 to 90%, and rare sneak attacks plummet survival to 60 to 70%. The psychological horror intensifies knowing that massive predators patrol invisibly beneath every ocean swimmer. Recent population recovery of both sharks and their prey, combined with climate-driven range expansion, drives encounter rates steadily upward. You're sharing the water with perfect killing machines that have ruled oceans for 400 million years. But even ancient oceanic apex predators seem almost modern compared to living fossils that have perfected drowning techniques. Florida. Sharks evolved over millions of years to become perfect oceanic killers. Alligators are living dinosaurs that stopped evolving because they already achieved perfection 200 million years ago. American alligators have inflicted 351 bites with 17 fatalities in Florida since 1948, maintaining a 4.8% fatality rate that exceeds sharks through a devastating combination of crushing force and drowning. Florida's 1.3 million alligators generate 17,000 nuisance complaints annually, while Louisiana harbors over 3 million despite fewer attacks. The biomechanics explain why. Alligators don't just bite, they systematically dismantle you. The bite force measurements are staggering. Wild 13-foot specimens generate 2,125 to 3,000 psi. A documented 2,980 psi reading from one Louisiana gator represents 20 times human jaw strength. Their 74 to 80 teeth regenerate constantly, growing up to 3,000 replacements over their lifetime. Jaw closing occurs in under 1 second, making evasion nearly impossible once within 6-foot strike range. The death roll represents nature's most efficient dismemberment technique. Alligators don't chew, they spin rapidly while maintaining their grip, using rotational physics to tear flesh into manageable pieces. Drowning becomes the
primary cause of death during extended rolls, as victims are held underwater. Only alligators exceeding 8 feet typically perform death rolls, but that includes most adults you'll encounter. Their ambush mastery involves the submarine approach, with only eyes and nostrils visible, remaining motionless for hours before explosive acceleration. The largest specimens reach 19.2 feet and approach 1,000 pounds, achieving 20 miles per hour swimming speeds through powerful tail propulsion while maintaining 11 mile per hour land speed in short bursts. Recent tragedies illustrate the intersection of human development and ancient predators. The 2016 Disney World attack killed 2-year-old Lane Graves at the Grand Floridian Resort, with the child's father attacked by a second alligator during rescue attempts. Louisiana's first fatal attack in decades occurred in 2021 when 71-year-old Timothy Satterley walked on his flooded property post-Hurricane Ida. Authorities captured a 504-pound alligator containing human remains. Temperature drives all activity. These ectothermic predators become hyperactive during summer breeding season but enter dormancy November through May, with 0 winter attacks recorded. June proves deadliest, as 11 out of 43 fatal attacks occur during peak breeding when males become territorial and females protect nests. What makes alligators uniquely terrifying is their patient intelligence combined with prehistoric killing power. They're calculating predators that have survived multiple mass extinction events by perfecting the art of explosive violence followed by patient waiting. But even living dinosaurs bow to North America's undisputed apex predator, Montana. Even living dinosaurs have nightmares. At the absolute apex of North America's predator hierarchy stands an animal so dominant that it fears nothing. Not wolves, not other bears, not even armed humans. Grizzly bears killed 8 people in Yellowstone over 147 years, while injuring 44 since 1979, maintaining a fatality rate of 1 per 26.2 million park visits. These statistics seem reassuring until you understand what they represent. When a grizzly decides to kill, almost nothing can stop it. Their dominance stems from overwhelming physical superiority that no other North American animal can match. The bite force alone, 1,200 psi, crushes bowling balls. Coastal Alaskan browns reach 1,500 pounds and stand 10 feet tall, rivaling polar bears as Earth's largest land carnivores. Interior grizzlies average 400 to 790 pounds, with 4-inch front claws capable of disabling any North American animal with a single strike. Their jaws deliver enough force to fracture human skulls in one bite, while systematic mauling patterns target vital areas with ruthless efficiency. Territory control spans 200 to 2,000 square miles for males, with seasonal movements covering 600 miles. They sustain 35-mile-per-hour charges faster than racehorses uphill, generating strength equivalent to 2.5 to 5 humans combined. No other North American terrestrial predator matches this combination of power, speed, and intelligence. Behavioral triggers follow predictable patterns, with 68% of attacks resulting from surprise encounters. Sows defending cubs account for 25% of incidents, demonstrating aggression levels that exceed any other North American wildlife. Solo hikers represent 67% of fatalities, while groups of 4 or more have never experienced a fatal attack in recorded history. Survivor accounts revealed the devastating reality. Shane Patrick Burke described his 2024 Grand Teton attack as more violent than being shot at, mortared, and hit by IEDs during military service. Rudy Norlander lost his entire lower jaw in 2023 when a Montana grizzly grabbed his face and lifted him off the ground. Riley Hill survived the 2024 Idaho attack only after his hunting partner fired 24 rounds into a 530-pound bear that was lifting me off the ground and slamming me back down, ripping my arm apart. Current populations total 30,000 in Alaska, but fewer than 2,000 in the lower 48 states, occupying less than 2% of their historic range, yet maintaining apex status wherever they exist. They possess single-strength capability on any North American animal, multiple hunting strategies from ambush to pursuit, and the ability to commandeer any carcass through intimidation alone. Grizzlies represent the evolutionary pinnacle of terrestrial predation, 200 million years of refinement creating the perfect apex predator design.